Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria on February 25, 2023, and the verdict announced on March 1st, 2023. And that result was not accepted by the opposition parties, especially the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party, and their presidential candidate and these political parties headed to the court. And on September 6th, 2023, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal sustained the election of Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was a beneficiary of the controversial verdict of the INEC on March 1st, and said that he was duly elected according to their verdict. Right now, that verdict of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal is now also being challenged at the Supreme Court, as the principal actors in the petition at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal are heading to the Supreme Court to find out why the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal should sustain the election of Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu in light of glaring evidences that they presented, including the issue of 25% in Abuja, which was a settled matter since 2008 by the Supreme Court. Now the matter is going to get to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court will now either reverse itself by saying 25% in Abuja no longer matters, as the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal said. Okay, then Nigerians will now know that 25% in Abuja does not matter. The Supreme Court has reversed itself from what it said in 2008. Nigerians will move on. Then, on the issue of forfeiture, the Supreme Court in 2014, Sani Abacha, Mohammed Abacha versus the federal government, the Supreme Court have always said that forfeiture is an evidence of criminality, of committing a crime. Okay, now the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal dismisses as nothing. That forfeiture, the forfeiture they gave Tinubu, the forfeiture of Tinubu in the 1990s, forfeiture of $460,000 to the United States government in Chicago, is a civil forfeiture, and that it doesn't hold water as far as the issue of disqualification from an election is concerned. Okay, that is not evidence of dishonesty, because in section 137, where they itemize grounds to disqualify presidential candidates, they talk about dishonesty. Okay, they say the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal does not consider what Tinubu did as evidence of dishonesty. Okay, and then we now have to see what the Supreme Court will say about it, because the Supreme Court had in 2014 said that under Nigeria statute book that the forfeiture is evidence of crime committed. It's evidence of, if you don't commit crime, you can't forfeit. And when you commit crime, it's evidence of dishonesty. So whichever way you look at it, Nigerians are waiting to hear that. So having done all this, Nigerians are looking up to the Supreme Court to now either support the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal or make a courageous announcement. Because if you look at all the points, all the petition, whatever that court, Supreme Court agrees, will nullify his election. All those grounds of forgery of certificates, dual citizenship, and all that, if the Supreme Court agrees with any of them, it will be enough to nullify his election. Okay, so that is where the matter is headed now, and that is where it is. But there is a particular thing that we need to look at now. The delay in transmission of the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal is what I want to talk about. Why would the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal judges, why would they be prevaricating in giving the judgment to the lawyers of the parties? Why would they were the ones that wrote the judgment. I believe that what they were reading from, even though many of us who watched from afar, who were not in court, we didn't see their face was hidden from Nigerians. And I can bet that nobody was allowed to take their photograph inside the court. So it is assumed that what they were reading that day was a written statement. At least those of us who were able to be patient to watch and listen to about 5 justices that read through that process, including a woman who was literally insulting the petitioners, telling them, "You think are they to go to the market to get evidence for them and all that?" I believe that they had their written documents with them. If they had it, what is the problem in transmitting the results, the judgment almost immediately? In an era where we have technology, I think they use their computer or whatever to type the judgment. What stops them from sending an email of that result, of that document, of that judgment? In fact, that document ought to be available for all Nigerians. Nigerians ought to go to the website of the appeal court and download it and study it every night. It's not just for the lawyers of the parties. What's so special about it? That for 2 days, Peter Obi's lawyers, the Labour Party lawyers could not have these documents. For 2 days and counting. Of course, maybe by the time you watch this, they might have released it to them. But what I'm saying, why should it take them hours, days to make these documents available to the parties, to the People's Democratic Party and their presidential candidate lawyers? What message are they sending? And when they were talking, you see how they are talking that the time for applications cannot be amended for anyone. Now they are eating into the time. They are eating into the 14 days that Peter Obi and his lawyers, and that Atiku Abubakar and his lawyers needed to file their matters at the Supreme Court. I think they need to study it. They need to study it. Because the way they were sounding as they were reading the judgment, especially that of Labour Party, which was the one I paid attention, to be frank. The way they were reprimanding the lawyers, they made the lawyers look like fools, that they don't know what they are doing. They themselves that are smarter as justices, what stopped them from making the judgment available? Why did they hold it back? Why did they hold it back? Why did they delay in releasing it? Why did they delay in releasing it? Why is there that there are no consequences for that kind of delay? Why should they be allowed to get away with that kind of delay? Because of that delay, are they going to increase the timing for the application at the Supreme Court? Are they going to delay it for them? Are they going to give them extend it for them? The 14 days they are talking about, are they going to make it now 16 days? Justice is not only done, it must be seen to be done. Is that how the judiciary spread justice? Is that evidence of an institution that is ready to do justice to all, no matter whose art is God? That doesn't show that. That is not what we have seen. Because if a judgment that they read could not be transmitted almost immediately, because I had expected that as they are reading that judgment finish, they will be handing copies to the lawyers of the petitioners. Each of them, as they finish, in a decent society, that is what it should be. That is what it should be. So that people don't have to struggle to get what rightly belongs to them. Because it's the right of the lawyers, it is the right of the petitioners to have access to the document. You don't expect them, as you are broadcasting it, they should be writing it down so that they can use what they wrote down from your document that you are reading to make application to seek redress at a higher court. Who does that? Which country? So these are the issues. Is it not a deliberate sabotage that 48 hours after the verdict was given, the parties could not be able to have access to it? What does that mean? What is the message that they want to send? How would they interpret it? Something you typed and have saved copies on your laptop as a judge. You typed it. Even if you have no knowledge on how to type, but you handwritten it, they typed it for you by your secretary. Of course, your secretary will have saved copies that you could transmit. Unless if what they wrote, what they read out was written was handwritten, which would be appalling. That justices of appeal court in Nigeria will write with long hands and that they have to go back to type it. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. But even if it was the handwritten, they ought to have made that handwritten copy available to them. After all, there are applications that you can put the type handwritten will be turned to Microsoft Words. So it's not an excuse. They could have submitted the handwritten so that they don't eat into the time of the petitioners and then use it against them at the Supreme Court, saying that they have 14 days and they didn't do their homework well. They submitted unprepared witnesses, unprepared this and that. But they are eating into their days. So there is no excuse, as far as I can see, on why the Supreme Court, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal justices could not have transmitted their judgment to the petitioners the day that they delivered that judgment. In this modern age, in this era of technology, it's not possible. So that is why, if you look at some people who are alleging sabotage and all kinds of things, to sabotage the petitioners and all kind of thing, and making all kinds of allegations, you begin to wonder. Because how do we interpret this? How do we interpret that parties are complaining that they don't have access to the judgment? And when they get to Supreme Court, you begin to lampoon them that they don't know what they are doing, that they have 14 days to file their necessary documents, and they fail to do that. But they will not take cognizance of the fact that it took days for them to have access to the necessary documents. That was why in the judgment, you saw them delivered on Wednesday, September 6th. They were just lampooning the lawyers of Labour Party and the witnesses. But these same Labour Party lawyers, we know, it's everywhere in the media, how they struggle to be able to have access to the certified true copies of the election results. They spent almost 3 weeks. They didn't have access to it. But now at the judgment, the election tribunal was blaming them for everything that they could not provide. And there was no portion of blame at all for the Independent National Electoral Commission. 3 weeks. The Labour Party lawyers were struggling to have access to certified true copies of the results. Even with a court order, and the court kept mute. Then about 3 weeks after, INEC rushed back to the same court to give an excuse that he wanted to use the BVAS machine for governorship election. That took away another 2 weeks. And you are in the court, you are a judge. You didn't take that into cognizance. You are blaming them for whatever. Even the ones they presented from INEC, the document they presented from INEC, you are now turning it against them. So it's really unfair, the powers that the justices have to do and undo in the area of their jurisdiction. Because it's only they that could do that kind of thing, and nobody will query them, nobody will punish them, nobody will raise issue. You just accept it, go to the higher court. How you manage to get there is your business. When you get there, whatever they say, you take it. But the truth of the matter remains that justice and judges are there to take care of the aggrieved. And when the aggrieved see that those who are adjudicating over them did the best in arriving at a judgment, they will take it in good faith. When you have a bad case, you know you have a bad case. But when people see a bad case, they also know a bad case. When Nigerians see miscarriage of justice, they know a miscarriage of justice. Don't come and bamboozle Nigerians that no, they don't understand the law. You have to know. We all know. It's not today that issue of judges pretending over affairs have been going on all over the world. It was a judge that presided over the sentencing of Jesus Christ when the Jews say he be condemned. So just watching, and we can make our own assessment of it. Nobody can come and tell us what is right and what is wrong. We can decipher it. And that is why those documents that you use in arriving at your decision is important to the parties, and it should be given immediately without delay, especially when time is of essence. So we know you have to be fair. Even God himself, the all-knowing God, the almighty God who created heavens and the earth, he is also a judge. Perhaps lawyers, justices should learn from God Almighty, who will also judge them on the last day. To be fair in their dealings. When God confronted Adam, he said, Adam, where are you? God is an all-knowing God. He is an omnipresent God. But he said, Adam, where are you? Because God is a fair God. You want to hear it from his mouth. That is what is expected. Anybody who wants to be a judge on earth, to be fair. And when you begin to exhibit evidence of unfairness, you have to be called out so that you retrace your step, so that you do the right thing. That is not blackmail. That is telling you to do the right thing. Because if you elect to be a judge, you must live up to the fairness that is expected of a judge. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.